Welcome back to Central Valley Talk, and it's the Central Valley Real Estate and Home Improvement Show. We're on every day about this time, and we've been talking to people about how to improve your home, how to keep the value, how to make sure the upkeep is there, and how to pick who you hire to do work on your house. But my favorite part of the show is when we bring real estate professionals on who show pictures of the houses they have for sale. So our next guest is Baylen Trafton.
Yes.
You okay with that?
Yeah.
Baylen Trafton. And you're with you have your own team, the Trafton Home Team, and brokered by London Properties.
Yeah, brokered out of the London office.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about the house you have for sale.
Yeah, so 31060 North Dome. It's up in Core School in the Yosemite Lakes Park.
Yeah.
So it's actually, if you're not familiar with that area, it's a really cool community. It's a master planned community. One of probably the first ones in our area. They have a whole equestrian area, the clubhouses, golf course, swimming pools.
There's some restaurants, I think.
They've got restaurants. They've got ag hardware stores. I mean, pretty much everything you need. You don't really need to leave unless you work outside the community. But it's a gorgeous community with great views. And this house specifically has a really neat view where you can actually see the entire, the casino across the way and see the snow-capped mountains. It's a gorgeous house on sitting just about 1.4 acres.
How long, if you're going to zip to Fresno, how long would that take?
That one right there is right about a 25-minute drive to right over to River Park. So 25
People
minutes.
People from LA would laugh at us like, that's not a commute. That's like a
it's funny. Yeah. I mean, I don't even live with them, but I mean, I commute longer than that every day. Yeah, it's some of us it's normal.
Let's do this. You brought a video of the house. This is in Core School, Yosemite Lakes Park.
Yes.
In the park, in Yosemite Lakes Park. And let's watch the video. Then I got a million questions for you.
Awesome.
Everybody, welcome to 31060 North Dome in Coarsegold, California. This home was built in 2021. It's a 4-bed, 2-bath, and it's sitting on just about 1.4 acres here in the Yosemite Lakes Park community. Tons of bonus features, own solar. Let's go take a look.
Wow. I'll take it just for the garage.
Yeah, the garage is extra. Yeah,
really nice big
pictures
garage.
Honestly don't even do justice. Yeah. It's a big garage.
And look at this picture. Pop that picture up there, Daniel. Daniel's our tech today, making everything happen. How'd you do all these pictures? You had some kind of drone or something? Right?
Yeah, we use drones on every photo shoot. Even when we sell like $40,000 lots, we typically get drone shots on everything.
Do they let you fly the drone, or is that?
I do have drones or anything, but actually, for liability, we have a licensed drone driver.
Let the pro do it.
Yeah, I always say I like photography, but let the pros do it.
It's incredible. It's just unbelievable.
Oh, it's honestly in person. It looks, especially at night, right when the sun's setting. It's a gorgeous view.
I was shocked. I was up there recently at somebody's house, and I looked right across, and there's that beautiful big casino over there.
And they've been adding so much on. It actually looks it's pretty on the eyes now. I mean, that place has gotten built out really nicely.
Do we get to know how much it is, or do they?
Yeah, so 485. Yeah. 485 on this one right here. It was just built in 2021. And, something that's kind of special about this house, when you're looking at a lot of builder quality houses in the area, this one has exterior walls or 2x6, extra insulation. I mean, everything was just done right, and having a house that new in the mountains, you don't see very often.
You don't see. What year?
This is 2021.
So it's a new house.
Yeah, just your second one to live in it.
Yeah. I saw a picture of the patio with those built-in patio covers. And people buy a house, there's no patio, so you got to pay to pour the concrete, pay to have a cover built, right? There's a lot of value just in having that.
Already built in, and it's all framed out. I mean, that's where the view is. It's the house is framed where that back patio is looking out at just the best views.
Do you think it might ever snow there?
It can snow, but from the few years they've been there, typically the snow doesn't stick in that area.
Yeah.
So you might get the snowfall, but typically by the time you're waking up in the morning, it's already melted away.
And there's a paved road all the way to the house, right?
Paved road all the way up. So paved road all the way up to the driveway. The driveway has asphalt that goes up the rest of the way.
Asphalt the rest of the way. So everything's all, now this kitchen is really cool. The gas stove and stuff. I want that stove.
Yeah, gas stove, and that oven actually, it's a real high-end oven. It's got a dehydrator, for instance, built in. I mean, some of the other cool features, I don't know if you noticed, but like the laundry room is just massive with a huge standing freezer. Like exactly if you wanted a mountain house, they've built in a lot of cool little features for that. And even the garage, you couldn't tell, but the size of the garage is in a whole storage closet that's about 5 feet wide, the length of the garage as well. So
Did you say the guy was a builder who built it? Or
Yeah,
built
yeah,
it for
that
himself?
built this one right
So
here.
everything was done extra
Everything
right.
was, done the way a builder would build for
A
themselves.
little bit
yeah.
extra.
The
everything
solar's
in there.
extra, the insulation's, everything was done
Oh yeah,
properly.
owned solar. What does that mean?
Owned, paid off. So not just owned with a loan, but the solar system is owned outright. It's built into the cost of the house. You're just only have your small true up at the end of the year, but the solar system's paying your bills.
Everybody I know has solar. They're making payments to the solar company and then a payment at the end of the year to PG&E, but there's no payments, just
Yeah, no,
PG&E at the
owned
end.
and paid off. Yeah.
Wow, that's really nice feature. So let me ask you, so there's one good house
Yeah.
and a great house. And by the way, I keep talking about people from LA with their long commutes. They wouldn't believe what you could get a house for here. You said 485?
Yeah, 485, and it's surprising. I mean, that area we do get a lot of, I mean, just yesterday we had an out of town. I mean, we do get a lot of people actually from those regions
Yeah.
that are looking at properties up in those
To
areas.
look at a nice area with a nice school district and close commute to a large city.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they actually have their schools right there inside the community.
In fact, to get to the gate of Yosemite is probably only a half hour from there, than Yosemite National Park.
Yep, not far up, just north of the 41.
Bass Lake, 15 or 20 minutes from there?
Yeah, I'd probably say 20, 25 minutes.
20,
Yeah.
25 minutes. That is incredible. Now, let me just ask you some general real estate questions.
Definitely.
You're here as an expert, by the way. So
Thank
the
you.
market, is the market going?
Yeah, for me it has been. Inventory has not picked up, and with the lack of inventory we've had, everything's still been chugging along just fine from what I've seen.
So people need houses to buy. You could use more listings.
Most definitely. We could definitely still use more inventory. I still have buyers that would like to buy right now, but don't see what they're looking for at the moment and are waiting for those items to pop up. And when we're listing properties, we're still averaging only, between 7 to 14 days on market. Even though, the average day on market is probably around 28 right now, but that's still pretty quick. I mean, if you look historically,
So
that's
somebody's going to
pretty
move,
fast.
and they're worried about their house selling. It's going to sell pretty quick. What about these people through COVID? They didn't want to sell. They didn't want people in their house. They've been sitting on this house for a few years, and maybe they have the equity's up. They don't know what it's worth. Can you help with that?
Most definitely. The good thing is that values have still continued to stay pretty high since COVID. Our area doesn't seem to be dropping down like a lot of the other markets that people are reporting, But if someone wants to know, I mean, the best thing is to see, what we owe on it, what the market would bring in today's, market. And it's different than what it was a few months ago. Sometimes maybe people had a conversation 6 months ago. It might be a different strategy today, but the value is still there. People are still buying. You haven't missed the boat. It's still a great time
But
to
you
sell.
can help people figure that out for free, right?
1,000%. All valuations for free. Even if you just want to keep your finger on the pulse on your
Yeah.
asset, we can find out all that information
Yeah,
for
if
you.
they're not going to sell, you'll still help them a little. and
Still let them know
find
and
out
at least
good
keep
for you.
them informed.
Now let's talk about buyers. I mean, the interest rates are up, they're down. I never know what it is. I know I bought my first house at 9%.
Uh-huh.
It's way lower than that now, right?
Yeah, no, it's still lower. I mean, what's funny, they're higher than they have been over the last few years, but historically, I mean, we still have good rates. It really comes down to what your current situation is, if it's the right time to buy or not. It's still a good time to buy. The better thing is what I'm finding right now is my buyers are able to get what they were actually looking for.
Yeah.
There's a little less competition, so we're able to actually narrow in on what's checking all the boxes as opposed to hopping on the first one that, kind of makes
But
sense.
again, for buyers, you're the starting point. You can advise them, figure out what they qualify for, and get them ready to
Figure
buy.
out what they're qualified for, figure out what their budget looks like, see what options are available to them, and even if they're not completely ready right now, at least we can get them on the right steps moving in that
Very
direction.
good. So there you have it. If you want to buy a house, you want to sell your house, or you just want information, Baylen, Trafton is a fountain of information for free.
That's
too.
probably the biggest thing that
Yeah.
I pride myself on being a fountain of information, and by virtue of that,
You
we'll
keep
do
up with
business.
all this stuff. Too. Keep
Yeah.
up with all the market and the interest rates and all that. It's a
Most
lot of work.
most definitely.
Most individuals don't keep up with it. That's why you need a professional to, put you on the straight and narrow.
Yeah, and it's always, especially right now. I mean, things are changing. This last year, things are changing rapidly.
By the way, I heard a horror story the other day. A guy was selling his house himself, and turns out there's all these new rules, and you got to do all these disclosures, and you can get in a lot of trouble if you don't do it right.
I always think about that whenever I see the for sale by owners. Luckily, the few times I've been exposed to it, somehow we always end up representing, or the agent ends up getting involved at the end. But I don't know how anybody really does it with all the things that's involved in selling,
Yeah,
all
it's
the
a lot
liability
now.
involved.
Yeah.
Even when you do it the right way, I really don't know how someone could do it and not know that they don't have a professional making sure all those things are covered.
I guess if you don't make the right disclosure, you could get in a lot of trouble
Oh,
down
yeah.
the road. So I've heard agents say, disclose, disclose, disclose. Tell everything you can.
When in
just-
doubt, yeah. If
just
you're not
disclose.
sure if you should say it, say it.
Yeah. But that's interesting you say that. People try to sell it on their own, but they end up with an agent, a
Well,
pro.
yeah, and in the end, it's about getting them the most amount of money. And I know that they don't sometimes like working with someone, but in the end, it's going to take stress off of you, and we're just going to put more money in your pocket. That's really all our goal.
Also, there's I think 4,000 or 5,000 agents out there, and they have buyers, but your house doesn't get seen by all those agents if you sell it by yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in a situation with buyers that like a house that's a FSBO, and they want to see it, but if they're not working with us, and my client, they don't want to just go figure it out on their own. They want to have an agent that they trust working with them. And yeah, I just can only imagine, that's a missed opportunity for that
Missed
seller.
opportunity for that seller, yeah. Anything else you want our viewers to know?
Just that, I know there's a lot of media that says, that the housing market's slowed down and all stuff like that. Inventory has been tight, but from where I'm sitting, it's still a great time to sell. There's still plenty of buyers where this is the right situation, it's the right environment for them to be buying in. So if
Good
you have any
time.
questions, I'm here to talk.
Baylen Trafton, it's a good time to buy and a good time to sell. So,
Definitely.
but either way, call Baylen Trafton. Go to his website. You said everything's on there.
Yeah, if you go to TraftonHomeTeam.com, that has examples of all of our work. We do things a little differently than most companies here in town. You can see our whole portfolio on there, and there's also some resources that you can use without reaching out to us, just real estate resources they can lean into.
That'd be great. That'd be great. Also, call Baylen, 559-213-7734.
Yep, that's my cell phone. If you have any questions, give me a call, send me a text.
And who
I'll be here
answers
for you.
that?
It'll be me.
Goes
Only
right
me.
to you?
Yeah.
I tell people, don't buy a house, don't get a realtor who doesn't answer their own phone.
No,
Yeah,
it
you
all
know,
comes
that-
directly to me.
yeah,
That's
very
one thing
good.
we can't outsource.
I appreciate that very much. We will be back with more real estate and home improvement right after this.